Okay, we're going to conclude the simile here in these lines, 154, no, sorry, 153 to 156. Ille regit dictis animos, et pectore mulcet, sic cuntus pelagi, cecidit fragor, aecora posquam, prospiciens genitor, cae loquin vectus aperto, flectit equos, curuque volans dat lora secundo. Okay? He, this is the man, we're still in the simile here, this man respected, he regit, rules, their animos, their hearts. How does he rule them? Ablative will tell us, with his words. And soothes their chests, meaning their hearts that are raging in them. Okay, that concludes that. Just like, remember we had that velut earlier? Just like when, this dude calms the crowd, seek, so also, right? So the cunctus, the whole fragor, the whole crashing about, and this is the crashing about, I'm going to get my purple here, the crashing about of the sea, to be specific, the crashing about, or the crash of the sea, the uproar, it all fell. Okay, so one more time. Just like when, all this happens, so the whole uproar of the sea fell, stopped, in other words. Afterwards, the genitor, the father, this is Neptune, prospiciens, looking out on the sea, this is the object of what he's looking out on, looking out, those go together, looking out on the sea, and and carried in the open sky, okay, and he's carried in his chariot, right? So this also goes with this guy. This is all describing Neptune, the father, in the open sky, carried in the open sky on his chariot. Flectit equos. He whipped his horses, or he turned his horses. Sorry, that's the object. Turned his horses with his reins, right? And volans, and flying, and that's also describing the genitor, Neptune. He gives the lora, the reins, it's a neuter plural, curu secundo, to his, or with his pleasing, chariot. You could also say favorable chariot. So one more time through that. He rules their hearts with his words, and he soothes their chests. Just so, the whole uproar of the sea fell. And I think maybe an and would go in there, and it, kind of nice. And afterwards, the father, looking on the seas, it's, it's poetic plural, and carried in the open sky, carried in his chariot, turns his horses. So there's your main verb, turns his horses, and flying gives the reins, to the horses, in his favorable, or his pleasant chariot, or in his favorable course, meaning the course of the chariot. And before we close here, just to draw your attention, that's the subject of this sentence here, but there's quite a few participles modifying it. Prospiciens, present active participle, also volans, he's looking on the seas. Volans, he's flying, this refers to the genitor. He's also in vectus, which I believe is perfect deponent participle. He's, carried in the open sky. And then, of course, you have the two main verbs. He turns the horses and he gives the reins. And those also, he's the subject of those two.